Welcome all to the Field Goal Podcast, the second video podcast where we talk about basketball and football. And like I said last time, there is no better time than now with the NFL draft going on. And now the NBA playoff is pushing around too, and some teams still fighting in Game 7 in the first round. And we'll get to those predictions. But man, the NFL draft has been really going down, and I really want to talk about that first. So let's dive straight into it. So how about this 2023 NFL draft? This is why we love the draft. It's always full of surprises. Bryce Young, no surprise, goes number 1 overall to Carolina. Texans at number 2 take C.J. Stroud, which I predicted and I was hoping they will. But the biggest surprise was the Texans moving back up to number 3 overall to go grab Will Anderson from Alabama, the number 1 edge rusher this year. That was huge for D'Amico Ryan. It shows that the Texans are really trying to win, which I love, and I can't wait to see the Texans progress in these next couple of years. I also love the addition of Tank Dell out of Houston Cougar. So he ended up staying in the city, which is great for him, great for his family. I know he excited. CJ probably excited to have a dynamic receiver like that, special, electrifying. Will Anderson, like I said, the best edge rusher. And just to show that you actually really do want to go compete, that's what I'm most excited for the Houston Texans. So huge shout out to the Houston Texans, man. You guys get a grade A for me. And let's just see what the future holds for you guys. Now, how about why Eagles? Why? The Eagles made a big splash in round 1. With moving up to the 9th pick to go trade up for arguably the best talent in the draft, defensive tackle out of Georgia, Jalen Carter. Strong, fast, disruptive in the backfield. This guy can do it all. And to add to that Eagles defense, which is already full of Georgia linemen and linebackers, then they didn't stop there. At the 30th pick in the first round, they go back and grab another Georgia guy, the 4-3 edge, Nolan Smith. So coming around that edge, they're going to be crazy, and they still going to be strong in the middle. I hate playing these guys twice a year. I will say this, to me, it feels like the Eagles went from great, because they went to the Super Bowl, and then they lost a lot of players, and they went back to great again. So right now, they look like the favorites in the NFC East. I will say that. And I know it's way too early. It's going to be a lot of free agent moves and all that still and trades. But with that being said, I'm not mad at what my Cowboys have been doing. Mozzie Smith, defensive tackle, I actually like, because we needed someone to plug that middle. We haven't had a guy like that in I don't know how long. So that was great for us personally as a team. So I like that move. I know some people don't like the non-flashy moves that we make, but if you really pay attention to the Cowboys draft, the non-flashy moves always end up being our best moves, just like at the second round with the tight end selected. That's a spot that we needed to fill, so I like it. He can block and he can catch. I'll take it. So I'm just going to trust in what the Cowboys front office is going to do. Let them do it. I'm not going to grade them right now. It's too early anyways, but I will say this. Texans get an A for me. Eagles get an A. Another team that get an A for me is Pittsburgh, especially in the day 2. Grabbing Joey Porter Jr. That was huge. Bringing him back to where his dad at. Where his dad played was huge. I know that's going to be huge for the city. I know they're going to like that. But also to go grab Darnell Washington, a tight end out of Georgia. So they just trying to bulk up, and I like that. He kind of remind me of a Pittsburgh Steelers player. So I like him going over there trying to help Kenny Pickett. Also in the draft, it was a couple of things that happened. Well, I guess I could say before the draft, Lamar Jackson ended up getting his 5-year, $260 million deal. Kudos to him. Should have been got paid, man. But that's what happens when you don't have a agent. However, he was still able to sign the biggest contract that any NFL player has ever signed. So he was able to do it his way. I can't say nothing about that. But another splash for him, the Baltimore Ravens also go get Zay Flowers, one of my favorite receivers. This is probably the most shiftiest receiver in the draft. Him and Tank Dell, they can go back and forth. But this guy's a better overall polished receiver. So I feel like that was good. Add more weapons with Odell and the running back committee that they already have and the run game that they have. The defense is always strong over there in Baltimore. So that was huge for them to grab another weapon and to continue to help Lamar. That's what it should always be, to continue to help the quarterback. Now you gave him his money. Just keep giving him weapons. Will Levis fell out the first round. Kind of embarrassed to come back to the draft, so he stayed home the second day. But he ended up getting picked up pretty early in the second round to Tennessee. So it looked like he'll be sitting behind Tannehill for who knows how long, until Tennessee gets tired of Tannehill. Even though Tannehill is a decent quarterback, I think he's not elite. So at that point, you got to start looking elsewhere and trying to rebuild. And I think that's what they want to do. And I think Will Levis is a decent player to do that with, but I don't think he's going to get you over the hump. He kind of remind me of Tannehill, honestly, so I feel like you got two Tannehills, so that's whatever. Bijan Robinson ended up going to Atlanta, which I do like. I like Atlanta grabbing him because I know Atlanta want to run the ball. I didn't want him to go to Chicago. That's why I thought he was going to go, which actually today is day 3, live report. Roschon Johnson, Bijan backup at Texas, end up going to Chicago. So, yeah, that's that. But Bijan end up going to Atlanta. I think it's a good fit for him. It's a good city for him. He's going to prosper over there. I like him over there. I can actually cheer for him over there, so that'll be great. If he wasn't going to be a Cowboy, I'd rather him go over there to Atlanta. Now, I want to talk about the kid who I think stole the draft with his draft party. I actually teased my cousin because they drafted this guy because he's a Packer fan. Luca Van Ness out of Iowa. When they called his name, I just laughed. I was like, trash. Man, his tape is pretty decent, and it looked like he might be a decent pick. But when they flipped the camera to him, he had 3 young hotties around him. Shirt was halfway off, like kind of open-chested with the chain on. And he looked like one of them frat boys who's just super cool with everybody, because you can see like it probably was his little brother or his frat brother who probably came and tried to give him his hug, and his dad just like grabbed him off of him. But I don't know, man, the way he went about how he got selected, I thought that was pretty cool, and it has nothing to do with football. And it's crazy how I thought it was he was trash, but just because he had that type of you could say announcement to the league, I kind of like that guy. Now I'm kind of cheering for him. So just don't do that when you play the Cowboys, bro. Don't be disruptive, because I think he can be disruptive. Don't do that when you play the Cowboys, man. That's all I have. The NBA playoff has now officially went to round 2 with most of the teams. Some teams still in round 1, and we'll get to those picks later. But the Los Angeles Lakers advanced to round 2 with a blowout win against the Memphis Grizzlies. Dylan Brooks is looking like Bozo the Clown of the NBA. I just have to say it. It's just what he's looking like now. You called out the king and said he's old and you don't respect no one until they give you 40. Okay. So the very next game after you made that comment, Bruin dropped 23 and 20 on you. That's 40. To close out, they beat you by 40. So he got 40 on you twice, and you still had nothing to say. You're a clown. You're not even Draymond Green. You're not even Pat Beverly. You don't do anything to help your team win. Draymond already said you were going to be the reason why this team does not make the NBA Finals. And he stood on all 10, and he was absolutely correct. So congratulations, Bozo the Clown. You cost your team the playoffs, basically. But moving on, the Lakers is definitely going to need this rest. Definitely going to need these old guys. I think only Golden State compares to the Lakers on the West in age, and Phoenix, but the rest of these teams are young. And Sacramento has forced these old Golden State Warriors to 7 games, and it's going to be rocking in that arena. I can tell you that now. I'm going to still stand by my pick because I already picked the Golden State Warriors because I do believe they have too much championship pedigree. But this is going to be a physical, sweaty, up and down the court type of game that very much that the Sacramento Kings can win. Malik Monk been playing out of his mind. Obviously, we already know De'Aaron Fox is the leader of that team, and he's been having a great playoff. But it's just something about Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. I It's what they do. They not scared of the moment. They're going to be calm. They understand what they walking into. But like I said, I do believe it's going to be a close game, and the Kings can very much win. But I'm sticking with my pick. I got to hold my pick down. Those veteran guys know how to win. They already got too many rings. So I definitely got Golden State in Game 7. Going to go meet up with King James on Tuesday, which is going to be very interesting. But can't wait for it. So, as I stated, the NBA playoffs is pushing to second round, and we already got 6 teams in. We got C's versus the 76ers. I don't know. I think the Celtics and this 76er matchup is definitely going to go 7. This is going to be another physical matchup. Probably not so much physical, but it's going to be up and down. But I think Joel Embiid is going to show why he should be the MVP, and this will be the matchup to do it against. Obviously, the Celtics. These two was kind of already favored outside of the Bucks in the East. So I think this is the matchup, and I think he's going to absolutely ball out. Jason Tatum going to ball out. I think it's really going to be the matchup of Jaylen Brown and James Harden of who wins this round 2 matchup. But like I said, I think that's going to go 7. Also, you got the New York Knicks versus the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler is balling out of his mind, but Jalen Brunson is also for the Knicks. So I think this is going to be a good one. Julius Randle, I think he's going to be a key player in this one. I don't know. I think this one going 7-2. Just because I believe in Jimmy, but the Knicks are very, very, very talented and cannot be slept on. And that 8 seed, obviously, with the Heat, they can't be slept on either. So I think that one going 7. Now, this Phoenix versus Denver matchup, I think Phoenix might get them in 6 as long as they stay healthy. I think they starting to get in the groove, and this is the time where KD and Devin Booker need to probably average about 30 each, going 27 each at least, 27 plus going forward for the rest of the playoffs, and they would make that huge run. I'm telling you, and they'll meet whoever come out the California. It's California versus Phoenix, I think, in the Western Conference. I think that's said and done. So, man, that's it. Can't wait to get back at this again. I promise you it ain't going to be a 2-week drought. So, until next time, the Field Goal Podcast. I'm out.